Welcome to Friday Live and a mail call. And I've been fighting a cold for the last week. So anyway, we're live from, you guessed
Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plain. And
can't resist, guys. Get used to it. Excuse me. So anyway, my partner in crime is also here from. All right, how you doing, John?
Good morning. I'm doing pretty good today. Can't complain. It's nice outside right now. A little cloudy. Got rain coming, and possibility of snow tonight. So we're doing real good.
Fun times. Yeah, it was a tad chilly this morning when I woke up here. 37-ish. So I think it's it's a whopping 39 right now. So, and the wind is sweeping off the plain.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And also this week, we got the I-40 gang, because we're all on I-40, and we got our Malcolm in the middle. Here he is. Hey, Jason.
What's going on, guys?
There we go. We got to put him in the middle. So.
I have breakfast, so I'm gonna be off here in a second.
So the three of us have been. Well, Jason and I have been chatting for about the last hour, and John's joined us the last half hour, and just chatting away about all different things, model railroading, and how Jason's cost me a buttload of money already this morning just by bringing up subjects that reminded me of something. So off to Amazon I went. How many orders I put in so far this morning?
About 12.
So anyway, we'll have plenty to cover next week as well. Let's just put it that way.
Well, then I am glad I wasn't on that first half hour with you.
No, because I was sharing about different tools and stuff while I was working on my switching puzzle. And so it kind of reminded Steve to go buy some things that he's lacking.
Yeah, well, that I've run out of, or he's as an example, he's talking about his oscillating tool and how it's probably his go-to tool of every tool he has. I said, yeah, between that and the Dremel, which reminded me I'm out of cutoff discs for my Dremel, so I had to go order some cutoff discs for the Dremel, and that's just the way the conversation went for the last hour. One thing after another. So anyway, when you move, you throw a lot of stuff away, okay? Because it's just junk, and it costs more to move it and deal with it than it does to get it.
I remember doing that. 12 years ago.
Yeah, and I've moved 10 times in 10 times in 30 years. My wife, last time we moved, she said it was the last move, and then we moved again. So she's saying absolutely the last time. Okay.
Come on, Dwight, the Three Stooges.
Yeah, Larry, Curly, and Moe.
I'll take Moe.
Yeah.
I got too much hair to be curly.
Who's got the curliest hair?
That would be Larry.
That would be Larry. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there was also too. So
Chef.
Yeah.
Let's run through everybody that's been here. Of course, JD was here bright and early this morning, soon after I kicked off the announcement. So welcome, JD. He was followed by John, Schuylkill River Valley. Hey, John, how you doing? I'm assuming my audio is fine. Al Mars with us this morning. Good morning, Al. We have Hi, of course, from H&H Express Metal and Scale across the pond in the Netherlands or Holland or however you want to pronounce it. And let's see, we got Lee, Anfield Road, Layout in the Loft, and over there in England. We got Dwight from the great state of Illinois. He's in central Illinois, where there is nothing to block the wind this time of year. The flattest place I've ever been in my life is right around where Dwight is. All right. Everybody talks about Kansas or Nebraska or places like that being flat. I guarantee you, central Illinois, except for the Illinois River Valley, is the flattest place on earth.
That Arkansas Delta is pretty flat too.
You're absolutely right, but at least you got trees there. The only trees you have in central Illinois is around the farmhouses to block the wind.
Well, when you get out in the Delta, where all the farmland is, yeah, the only places you've got trees are either pecan orchards or around the house to block the wind.
Well, you got those 3 canals or rivers that run through the Delta area there too.
Yeah, that too. But
you got, but anyway, here nor there, it's flat.
yeah, and some of the Native American mountains too. They'll be flooded with trees on the top.
Oh, the mounds?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so who else we got after Dwight? I think that's it. I think we got everybody so far. Cool beans. All right. Second audio check still okay. Thank you, John. And Dwight says it's snowing up there. Yeah, this time of year it would be.
Yeah, we're supposed to have a chance for a dusting tonight.
So, all right.
Yeah.
Well,
scattered showers here.
Well, rain first, and then snow.
Hey, John, why don't you show us your bench work and all the track you've got laid?
Well,
I was impressed.
I haven't really laid any track. I've just been laying road bed down, trying to figure out what to do since I, of course, didn't have a track plan. But this is
Steve,
the start of the area here.
Hey, Steve, why don't you make John big so we can see him?
I'm gonna do it. Yep.
There we go.
Okay.
Not much bigger because he's on his cell phone, but.
Yeah, my computer's still down, but I've got this area here. This is going to be some light industrial and some sidings. Yeah, it's a lot of cork, a lot of expensive.
Now, how wide is that? How wide is that? Yeah, double the price, half the.
Yeah.
How wide is that shell?
This is 24-inch.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and right here, this is the main track. It's a number 8 switch or turnout, whatever you want to call it. And it's going to be curling around here. And then it's going to be the connection in this area here that's going to go over and tie into this number 8 turnout. So I will be able to have a continuous loop. But going down through here, my two big turns are both double track. And they'll go down through here. This is another one of my big sweeping turns and my ballast that I'm working on. I make
What's
my own
radius
ballast.
on that, John?
This is 30 inches.
Cool.
The inside is
no problem with that.
Yeah, the inside is 27.
Okay, still the 210-2 will go fine over that.
I'm sure hoping so. And then we're getting into the area where I already had this track laid down. It's been down and tested for a while, but haven't got any feeders put in on it yet. Over here is where the Pikachu's peeking out, and that's where my roundhouse, my 18-stall roundhouse is going. And the hole that Steve and I cut, about a year, 2.5 years ago, Steve? Yeah. And it hasn't been worked on since because of my move and my wife and
But
other things.
you've actually set the turntable in there and it's the right size.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's been in there. I'm getting ready after I lay this track, all the track I can lay. That's going to be my next task. I need to work on that, and so I want to set the turntable in and then get the distance marked out for exactly where the roundhouse should fit, which it's going to be difficult, but that
now,
should
is that
help.
100? Is that 110-foot Walters turntable?
Yes, it is. 110.
You know, I have the template that came with
Well,
mine still.
I have the template. It's right there.
Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, well then you should have no problem setting it up.
Yeah,
'Cause it
so
gives
what
you-
I'm going to do is I'm going to use the rim of the turnout to get my 3 and 23/30 seconds distance out to the roundhouse.
You
Now,
know,
I don't
Walters
have any.
does these stupid measurements like that. 23, 30 seconds. All right.
Yeah,
Come on.
I just
If you don't have tolerance enough to make it, you know, a 16th of an inch, where you have instead of going to 30 seconds or 60
Yeah.
even, because I had that problem with my swing bridge. I mean, that's just idiotic.
well, let's see. What would that be? That's around. It's
24, 30
24.
seconds would be
Is-
3/4 of an inch.
Yeah. So, so the width of a pencil could be a difference, you know. So that's going to be a little bit different. But on this side here, I've got another number 8 that's going to split my track again and come around this end and then into a long straightaway. Now this I do plan on putting in some crossovers, and also I want to get one to turn out to go out into this big open area where I can probably have at least one stretch of track, and then my town scene's going to go in this area. I've had thoughts about having this area over here that's very rough. I just pieced in foams. That's probably going to be a junkyard that's going to be serviced by the one turnout on this main stretch here. And yes, I have a lot of turnouts here, but these are all the.
Did they finally arrive?
No, this is what I've had. I've received
okay.
2 in the last 2 years, so I'm still waiting for about 7 of them. And then I have some Atlas number 4s that I'm not going to use because I don't want to use number 4s. But I bought them for $1 a piece, so you know it's worth it. And then there's the tanks that I was working on that I showed last week.
Yep, those are cool.
So, and then it comes down to this number 8 where it again curls out into here. Now, for this area out here, I'm actually creating a spline instead of a hard surface. So I'm ripping down some of the 5mm boards to 3 5/8 inch thick, which will bring me up right to the hardboard underneath here, and then I'll still put some foam on top of it. But and then my workbench down here that's messy. This is my paint area down here with all my paints.
What are you using as racks for all your paint?
These are a clear plastic.
Yeah, I think they're the ones for fingernail polish.
Yeah, but the craft paints fit in them beautifully. I don't know if I can get one out or not.
Well, no, you don't have to. I saw those, and you know where you got them?
Yeah, I got them off eBay.
Okay.
And you you screw them together. They come disassembled. My wife found these for me, and she ordered them, and I got them in, and she didn't really ask me if she should order them or not, and she just went right ahead and did it. But they have been perfect. I love them. Soldering station, yeah, it's a cheap Chinese one, but I haven't had any problems with it. It's working great when I get to use it. And then over here, this is some of my odds and ends stuff that I don't have boxes for. That a lot of it needs work. Almost all of them need couplers put in and metal road wheels put on them. I have been working on them a few at a time. And you always see these CNEI gondolas. I get these on eBay for about anywhere from $5 to $8 a piece. Usually the shipping is as much or more, but every one of them is 82005. And so I'm trying to figure out a way to use my printer to print all the numbers for them. And of course, your printers can't do white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a blacked out box in Excel and have white numbers in it, and then use the white decal backing paper and see if that works. If it does, it's going to save me a lot of time, because I can just print off a whole sheet. I can have Excel, do the numbering for me, and all you got to do is highlight the box, 3 boxes, drag it down. It'll keep adding to those numbers. I'll do some spaces in between so they're not all the same. But I've got about 25 or 30 of those small gondolas, and it'd be quite a task to do all them with individual numbers. And then where do you find all them? Yes, sir.
Have you looked at micro scale for decals? Because they do sell decals.
Yes. It's. I really only need the numbers, and these numbers are. I can't remember the name of the font. My daughter told me it. She used to work at Office Depot and really got familiar with all the different fonts, but it's sort of a curved type of number, and I want to try to reproduce them as best as possible. But even if I went with pre-made microscale or K4 products, still you're having to cut out individual numbers, and place them on there. If I can print them out, and of course after I print them, I'll spray them with a dull coat, Steve. It should make it quicker. It'll look like they've actually just blacked out the existing number and repainted it, is what it's going to look like. It's going to look like a patchwork. But I may be able to dull coat.
Can you see Robert's comment?
Get decal sheet and do number. Yeah, Robert, no. I'm trying to stay away from that. Yeah, I don't mind doing all the engines I have with individual numbers, because like my 282s, I've got 25 or 30 of them. And of course, I have done all the numbers on them individually, because nothing has all that number combination. And I pick up the numbers off of the CNEI historical site, which I can go on there and find out all the engine numbers that they had. So they're correct numbers. Slightly different time period, but it's all within that engine being produced. So
By the way, John, I thought I'd let you know that you have just joined the Train Freak arm twisting club.
Oh, okay. Good.
I just placed another Amazon order.
You mean I was talking too long?
Yeah, no, for 2 years I've been talking about racks for paint. All right, and I've looked at the laser cut ones, and they're very nice, but they're like Jason said in his comments, around $45 or so. And those fingernail ones are the perfect size. They're little trays are 1.65 inches deep, and the crap paints are 1.5 inches in diameter. So,
well, and all my other paints fit in there except for some of my Pache models. They don't fit in there. But all my other paints would fit in it.
Right. So anyway, I went ahead and ordered.
Well, and I'll show you a little difference. I did try these wooden ones with the adjustable shelves, but now look at how the shelves bend. Okay, there's nothing to hold them. So I may replace them with 2 more of these plastic pre-cut plexiglass ones. They seem to hold up, and I like that also that they're clear in the front, so you can still see all the names. And you can easily move the whole rack. They're strong enough when you screw them together that you can pick them up and move them.
That's the one I just.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the one I just bought. So.
Well, Steve, you'll have to send me the link to that one because I was almost about to buy the wooden ones.
Yeah, Jason, I've been very happy with mine. These look actually bigger than mine, Steve. 1, 2, 3.
Now, does that one got like the screw holes on the back where you can mount it on the wall?
No, it doesn't.
No.
Okay.
No, it doesn't. But you could probably make a backer for it and then screw it to the wall.
Yeah. The wooden ones that I've talked about, John Arthur has them, and they even make like corner pieces, so you can make it like a big U.
Oh yeah, they're real nice,
but they're a little more expensive than that. You know, they're
like they are. But no, I've seen that system, Jason, and it's excellent. You know, if you have the space to really set it up, you could have a fantastic work area. Yeah, see, those have 6 shelves. Mine only has 5, so you hold more than I do. But now those shelves are not.
They have the option. You can buy the 3-layer, you can buy the 4-layer, 5-layer. You know, whatever you want.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Jason, I sent you the link. I sent you the link, Jason.
Yeah, send me the link too, because I may have lost mine.
Got it.
And they have come down in price.
I'm going to post the link. So anybody that wants it can copy it off of here.
But those shelves are not just flat shelves. They're actually U-channel that have ends on it. That's why they're stronger than the wood ones that are just, you know, a flat shelf across there.
See, you can tell it on the blow up.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you look close. So anyway. So there's the link for everybody if for those that are interested. Just run a nail polish, fingernail polish rack. Search on Amazon, you'll see all different kinds.
And that is an excellent price. That's probably half of what I paid for mine 2.5, 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's
so
down 27% from what it was.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yep.
Cool beans.
Absolutely.
do away with that one. All right. And then let's switch back over. There we go to me. And then what else you got, John? Anything?
No, that's about it. Other than my expensive cork, I gave the guy a neutral review, and boy, he didn't like that. I said, well, you were all at the time. I knew what I was paying for. I'm not happy with it, but the problem is the cork itself was old.
Oh, it's brittle.
It's brittle.
And he had price tags on the back of them, 99 cents. How long ago were they 99 cents? That just shows how old they were. And
John, let's face it. What you're really mad about is he didn't give you a little tube of Vaseline in the package.
Yeah, that would have made it a little nicer,
You gonna tell everybody what you paid for that 25 piece box?
Yeah, shipping was free. So I only paid $89 for it. $89. Yeah.
So factor about 25 in shipping. And that's what
Yeah.
I got mine from Horizon Hobbies, free shipping, $49.
Yeah. Bite me, Steve.
Yeah, but right now, I don't know if y'all know this, but there is a cork shortage again.
Oh, I just got mine. I got mine the week before his.
Oh.
But
I know my local hobby shop's been trying to order some, and he said
so was mine.
Yeah, I talked to my local hobby shop guy, and he says he's had it on back order for about a year. And he only had 7 pieces, and I bought all 7 and took the box with me too. So yeah, there is a shortage out there, and I needed it. I had to have it to make any progress. And so I bit the bullet and paid for it. Then Steve sends me links that has it for cheaper.
Yeah.
I'm just a hell of a nice guy, aren't I?
Oh, yeah, Steve, you're great. Yeah.
Give me some salt to rub into that wound.
Yeah.
Hey, Michael McCarville. Welcome, buddy. Hey, Michael, we're getting close to the anniversary of the bumper day. Another month and a half to go. April 1st. That's bumper day.
Well, that's all for me. Oh, I forgot to do one thing. Let me spin you over here real quick. Now this is a mess, so don't fault me for it. But down below here, that's all my railroad stock there. Besides the ones that are over on the other end. Yeah, and then up here, that's all my engines. So, there's quite a few of them. Do I need more? Oh, yeah, probably. And then there's my Digitrax system, my little weighing pad, which is very good. I got that off of eBay also. And then here is where my paint booth is. And the little piece of foam back there is cut out so that can go in the window first. And then I put my discharge vent spout on it and then close the window down on it. And it closes it off pretty good.
Oh, okay.
So, I was kind of worried about that, but I may start trying to use a lot of the Tamiya paints that, aren't toxic. See how I work with them. I tried them years and years ago, and I was never happy with trying to use it as a painting it on. But watching Boomer and what he does, I'm gonna start using my airbrush and see how it works on them. Hopefully my airbrush
Right.
still works. It's about 25 years old, but it is a Pache, so I should be able to still get, gaskets and needles for it if I need it.
Yeah.
That's about the only thing that's going to wear out on it.
I bought something for my airbrushing this week, so we'll get to that later. But in the meantime, all right, Jason and I were gabbing, like I said, for about an hour before the live stream, and he's working on a project, and we were chit chatting back and forth. That the chit chatting is what cost me so much money this morning.
Mhm.
The start of it, John helped finish it. I hope it's finished.
Yep.
And but Jason, why don't you talk a little bit about what you're working on and why and what the requirements and all that kind of stuff.
Before I do that, especially that we've got 2 people in the chat, I've got a mail call. How about that?
Oh yeah, do a mail call.
Got a mail call. Okay,
Yeah.
So first thing I got this off of Amazon, so this ain't related to the 2 people in chat. But Amazon.
All right, from Evan Designs.
Yep, 100 pieces.
Yep.
And I was able to use, I think it was like Prime Day or something discounts. So this was free. So
hey, if it's free, it's for me.
All right. Next one. All right. So this John Skookiel made these for me a long time ago. He actually made me some different ones, and I haven't used these yet. And so these are the little Dempster dumpsters. I still got to pay them.
Oh, yeah.
Paint them. Yeah. But I found this off of eBay, and I paid a little more than I wanted to for it. But it's a little guy dumping trash.
Oh, neat.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I don't know how well you can see
Yeah,
that.
we can make it
yeah.
out. I can make it out. Yeah.
So
Well, I have to look over at my television to make it out. I can't make it out on my little screen, but yeah.
I hear you. So I've got this little guy to dump trash into this little open dumpster thing. And I don't know if John is still here or not because I haven't seen him in the chat. But he did 3D print me the dumpsters, which is pretty cool. But the other person who sent me something in the mail thought of me, and unfortunately it's a little too modern. Okay, so John is still there. But it's a really, really neat piece, and we're actually in the process of trying to start a model railroad club here in Central Arkansas. And so I'm sure we're going to end up having something like a lumber yard or something on the layout, right? So Steve Anderson, Steve 87th PSAP sent me this.
Oh, nice. That's
cool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. I think he 3D printed it.
Wow.
But
that is nice.
this would open up and it would like be able to like scoop like several logs at one time.
Yeah,
And
the paint
they
job
would
is
use
phenomenal.
these to do what?
The paint job is phenomenal.
Oh yeah, Steve did a great job on it.
Very nice.
Wow.
So, but this is what they would use to probably load. Oh, he got it off of Etsy. Okay. They would use this to either load like the logging trucks, or they would take it from, if it's like at a lumber mill, they would, grab a whole bunch of logs to put on the conveyor at one time.
Right.
So, but yeah, this is pretty dang cool. So that's my mail call.
That's gorgeous.
So the other project I'm working on, and for those who caught my video yesterday, kind of got a sneak peek of it. I'm going to switch to the other camera here, and you have to look down, not on the layout where the tractor is, but a little bit. Let's see here. There we go. A little bit down, you can see there's a small little layout there, and I'm missing track. So as soon as the live stream's over with, I'm actually going to the hobby shop to go get the other pieces of track because I haven't been able to. But this is a switching puzzle that I am building because I am a merit badge counselor for the railroading merit badge for my council, which is the Natural State Council. And the Merit Badge University director asked me to teach this merit badge this year at Merit Badge University. And Merit Badge University is basically, it's like a 3-hour, well, it's an all-day class, but each class is in 3-hour segments. So the kids that register, they can come and take up to 2 merit badges. And so this kind of helps me in a way because with me being a NMRA member that's trying to become a master model railroader, the association volunteer certificate states that you have to have 60 points or 60 volunteer points. So every month I'm a registered merit badge counselor for the railroading merit badge, I get 1 point. Every scout that I help earn this railroading merit badge, I'll also get a point. So one of the requirements, which we can get to here in a second, is they have to participate in a switching contest and they have to record their time. So that's why I'm actually in the process of building this little switching puzzle here. It's only got 4 turnouts. It's based off of the Time Waster 540. But it's got 2 medium left-handed Pico turnouts. It's got a 3-way turnout, and it's got a single slip. So the single slip and the 3-way is what allows the runaround action. Each end of the straight-through track, you can see an orange PFE reefer car sitting off by to itself. Each of the spurs are long enough just for that one locomotive and one of the 40-foot cars on the layout. But there's 6 cars on here. They have to actually move 2 of the reefers that are at individual spots over to the icing dock. And then the other 4 cars have specific places on the switching puzzle to go to. Currently, I am building this out of modules. They're 9 inches wide by like 31, 32 inches in length. It is going to have DCC on it. But the neat thing is I can add extra modules on to make it longer in the future if I want to. So, but I figure this would be something fun for the kids to do, especially since it is one of their requirements for the railroading merit badge. So now the merit badge is not specific to model railroading. They can use the rail fanning section as well. Steve, if you want to bring up my share screen, I can kind of go over that real quick. So here we go. So this is on BSA's website, or Boy Scouts of America. So this is what the merit badge looks like here in the middle. So it's a little patch that they get to sew on their sash, and it's an elective. But the requirements, I'm not going to kind of read them all, but, they do have to know about, different types of freight trains. They have to explain why the unit trains are more efficient than the mixed freight trains, naming class 1 railroads, the cities it serves, things like that. They can use models or pictures to identify 10 different types of railroad freight or passenger cars. I will probably be taking a whole bunch of my models up there so that way they can look at them. Explain, they only have to do 3 of these. So we can talk about dynamic braking if they want to and what radial steering trucks are and how the diesel and electric locomotives do develop their power, but we might not. We have to talk about Amtrak. We got to get on Amtrak's website and, just kind of look at planning on making a trip between a couple of towns. And Little Rock is one of the stops on the Texas Eagle. So they have to know, the departure times, arrival times, the train number and the name and the type of service that you want. So that would be like if you're riding coach or if you're in a sleeper car. They have to name different departments of a railroad company, talk about different opportunities in railroading that could interest them, name some of the rail support industries, and And they only have to do one of this group here, so they don't have to do them all. But, it's not going to be easy for them to interview someone, employed in the rail industry because I'm not employed. And me being able to get someone there is going to be a little easier said than done. But we do talk about the purpose of Operation Lifesaver, and then they have to do 3 of the followings on this. Lift 5 safety precautions to make trains safer for workers and passengers. Talk about more safety. This is pretty much all safety stuff here, so I'm just going to kind of skip through that. Explain the parents' meaning following warning signs. So that would be like your blue flags, crossing gates, the flashing red lights, cross bucks, you name it. And then they have to do each of the following is explain how the railroad signals operate, show 2 basic signal types. Now, this can kind of get tricky because the way signaling done is on the eastern side of the U.S. and way signaling done is on the western side of the U.S. It's similar, but it's different. For those who follow DJ's Trains, I know he's not active on YouTube anymore, but he just recently posted a video that he shared on his Patreon not too long ago. Or he shared it on his Patreon a couple years ago, but he never made it public. And he's in the process of making his Patreon only videos public. And he talked about signaling on CSX. So signaling on CSX and signaling on UP, completely different. Very similar, but it is different, especially when it comes to UP uses an advanced approach where CSX will use like a yellow over green, for example. And then the last requirement is they have to do one of the following special interest areas and complete the requirements. So they can either choose model railroading or rail fanning. And for this class, we're going to be doing model railroading. And the 2 requirements that I'm doing with them is, number 1, they have to draw a layout of their own model railroad or one that could be built in their home if they don't have one. Design a point-to-point track or loop with different routings. Include one of the following, either a turnaround, or terminal, or yard, or siding. So they can do that on paper, so that should be a very easy one. But the other one we're going to do in the class is this one here, and that's participate in a switching contest on a time saver layout and record their time. So, and I think that would give them a little bit of fun on that one. So yeah, that's pretty much it. The rail fanning one, in my opinion, is a little more difficult, but I think it would be a little bit more fun. And that would be like visiting museums, riding scenic historic railroads, plan a trip on Amtrak, etc. So, because they have to do
There's all kinds of possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much, the requirements. BSA is not going to share the full book on the website. So, but yeah, it's pretty cool that they got the Excel on the front too. So yeah, that's pretty much the railroading merit badge in a nutshell. So yes, I get to teach it this year. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I hopefully I can get it done in a 3-hour time period. So,
and Jason, you may want to call your local railroad. I'm not sure what it is, but and talk to their office. They may have somebody that is more than willing to come in and talk about railroad. They could have somebody that's a public relations person.
Yeah, it's Union Pacific. So, yeah. you know how Union Pacific goes, or what I like to call the Onion Pacific, because it's service that makes you cry. I mean, what would be really cool is if they did not repaint UP 2010, and then they could have it in Little Rock over at the Jinx shop for us to go and look at.
Yeah.
But since then, they've repainted it. So that, for those who don't know what UP 2010 is, that is the Boy Scouts Heritage Unit.
Oh.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Yeah, it got repainted, I think, either last year or the year before.
Mm.
So, what can you do?
Yep.
But yeah,
Cool.
that's pretty much it on my end.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go in. Let's see now. Go there and then go
Yeah, don't make me
there. And I've been under the weather most of the week since the last live stream, so I didn't get a whole lot done other than buy stuff. So I got a whole bunch of a pile of stuff up here to go through. And I mentioned last week that I already had on order a BDL 168. All right.
Okay.
This is for block detection, and I got two of these from Iron Planet Hobbies, and then I also got two of the breakout boards that came from AccuLights Inc. from MileRailroadSupply.com. All right, and that just makes wiring the BDL 168 a little easier. Although it's not, the breakout board's not going to work for my control board. It'll work for another project I'm doing, but not for my control board because it's got the 4 leads for each one of the 4 zones or 16 block detections, but it doesn't have a separate power for each one going in. And that's what I need, since each one of these comes from a different section off the PM42 circuit breaker. So I got an extra one of those I don't need. I also picked up a PR4, which is what's used. Wow, that's great. It actually came with a PS14 and a computer cable. The first time I bought one of these, it didn't. So
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. When I
good.
bought mine, you had to buy the power supply separately. I think it did come with the computer cable.
Mine did not. Mine just came with the module itself, and that was it. So I just now noticed that. That's really cool. And the BDL 168s, I think I went through this last week, list for $154 a piece, manufacturer suggested retail price. Iron Planet Hobbies, $114. Heath Human discount knocks it down by 10%. Same thing on PR4. I ended up saving 1/3, 33% off my order over manufacturer suggested retail by buying from Iron Planet at Iron Planet hashtag not sponsored and Heath's code. So that was
because
then I picked.
Along with Heath's code, you also get free shipping, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Only on orders over a certain amount.
Oh, okay.
Are you sure? I thought any order using his code gets you free shipping.
I think it's over 100.
No, because I buy stuff all the time.
50. It's because I used his code on the 2 turnouts, the 2 left-handed turnouts, because I didn't have those.
Yeah.
And I had to pay like $5 in shipping on them.
That shouldn't happen because the turnouts are what, $27, $30 a piece? Something like that.
Yes, something like that. I still had to pay shipping on them.
Huh. Anyway, went over to Ace Hardware, picked up 5 conductor, what gauge is it? 18 gauge 5 conductor wire, and that's to be used off of each 5 will be for the 4 plus power off of here, going to a plug that will go from the shelf to the layout. So that's what this wire is for. So I got a bunch of that. Of course, I needed. Go ahead.
And that's sprinkler wire, right, Steve?
Yeah, control wire.
Bell wire, it's all about the same.
Yeah. With all this wire, I am the world's worst when it comes to wire management. So I picked up a bunch of clip things so I can keep my wires straight. I picked up some 2-conductor, 16 gauge or 14 gauge 2-conductor stranded wire. Won't use very much of this, but that's to run from the command station to the BDM, the PM42, and to alpha meter, etc. Heath was having a discussion on about wire gauge for different things Wednesday night. From an electrical standpoint, you use 12 gauge wire for a 20 amp circuit, 14 gauge wire. This is a general rule. If you're going to have huge long runs of it, you're going to have to beef up the wire size
Yes.
due to resistance and overheating. But as a general rule, 12 gauge wire for a 20 amp circuit, 14 gauge for a 15 amp circuit. All right. 10, if you're running 10 amps, you're going to want 16 gauge. So for most of our power supplies and stuff, we're going to be running, you really only need 16, but people bump it up to 14 just to be safe. And that's fine. That's great. That's what I do.
Hey, Steve, I just pulled something up you can share real quick.
Oh, okay. Hang on.
Oh, that's nice.
So there's websites out there that will tell you what size wire you need based on if it's AC or DC,
Right.
how many amps you're running, and the distance. So
There you go.
And it gives
for
the voltage.
So like for
I
us,
just
we're
use-
running 5 amps, a 5 amp DCC system, which is running on pulsated DC. So if you're going any longer than 15 feet on your bus lines, you got to bump it up from 16 gauge to 14. So just depending on how long your bus lines are will depend on how thick your wires should be.
Absolutely. So, and I just operate off of memory from my old college physics days. We didn't have charts like this or the internet back in. We still use slide rules. Most of you, I know people use abacuses.
I'm sure you do, Steve.
Just kidding. Anyway, so a lot of what I got was wire related. I got some 16 gauge wire, and this is for my bus line. All right, because my bus lines are only 12 foot long, and it's actually 6 feet either side of the union. So I got white for the common, I got some green for ground, I got black and more white. So needless to say, I got a bunch of wire. Whee! All right. And let's see what else I got. Okay, I got something here from Amazon. All right. There we go. And what do I have? Oh yeah, I needed T-taps. So I got my T-taps. And there's all different kinds, and everybody has their own preference of what type of wire connectors to use. The Wagos, Wigus, whatever, they're nice, but if I had, it'd be tough for me to use that. It divides up the bus line too much. It's easy to lay out the bus line and put the T-taps onto it. You just got to know how to put these things on, how to crimp them, and make sure when you insert them that the internal flap on the male connector isn't, or female, whatever you want to say, isn't off to the side, because it won't make connection that way. So, anyway, I did have to go to my local. Go ahead.
I'll show you what I use. Give me just a second.
Well, Jason's getting that. I shared last week how I bought some 3-inch connectors because of the spacing. I already changed it. Shoot. Oh well, we'll worry about it later. Because of the spacing between tracks, 2.5 inches between mainline tracks. So I figured a 3-inch on the crossover spacing. That was too much. That gave too much of a space, so I had to go get 2-inch track. So I went and got that.
All right, Steve, you ready?
Yep.
This is what I use to connect my feeders to my bus line and to extend my bus line when I need to. It's the simplest connector out there, and they don't fail very often. It is called a wire nut.
Wire nut, yeah. Yep.
You just got to make sure you get the right size for the right gauge you're working with.
Right. For 16 gauge, probably want to use a yellow one. Because the red ones are huge. The only problem is then you got to cut your bus line. I don't like cutting my bus line.
Yeah,
But everybody's got their personal preference, and that's fine.
Well, and see, I've been using these on my LCC bus, my SMD bus. But I've been having issues out of these.
Oh, I've got some of those. I didn't like them.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan.
Yeah, those are not the Wagoos. Those are.
And then if you're using like network wire for anything and you need a splice, I don't recommend using these on your actual network. But like if you're using like the actual wires for like wiring up your tortoises and stuff, these are great too. These are called URs. But you can put like 3 of the little telephone wires in these things here.
Mm.
They're not bad. But of course you also have to have these too. These help with cable management really easily. Low voltage staples. But these you don't even staple. It's actually got a little nail.
Oh yeah, I got some of those.
Yeah,
I
love those.
I take the nail out and put screws in. So yeah, I do use those. So anyways, my next deal was I needed some. I showed the 5-plug connectors last week. I needed some 2-plug connectors, harnesses, and I went on my rant about how ones that I got weren't right and everything. So I did go back and order some more 2-prong connectors. Right. Simple. I only need a couple, but oh well, you can never have too many because you're going to need them later anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just in case management. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I ran out of my standard power supply connectors as well, so I ordered some more of those.
Mm-hmm.
Then finally, as you can see there, I wanted one of these little duods for a long time, an ultrasonic cleaner. And I happened to be walking through Harbor Freight, and I saw this there, and I said, I just gotta have one. I've been wanting one for the last couple of years. And if you're ever tearing a loco down, an old loco, and it's full of grease and everything, and these things work great for that kind of stuff. It's got all kinds of applications. So, and particularly cleaning your airbrush. I don't know of a better way to clean an airbrush than throw the parts in the basket. So I picked that up. So it was kind of an expensive week.
I had not seen the ultrasonic cleaners at Harbor Freight. I'll have to look for that because I've been wanting
Yeah,
one all.
they're over towards where you paint car stuff.
Okay.
They're not by the air. They're not by the airbrush stuff. They're over by the car painting. You know, those big air gun areas.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And it wasn't on the shelf per se. It was on the island where the bigger stuff was located. They had this one, and then they had a bigger one that was a lot more expensive. So
Yeah. Very nice.
Awesome.
So that was all my stuff for the week. Let's see which one works better. That one, yeah. We got Jason in the middle there. We go from west to east. This is geographically correct portrayal.
There you go.
Yeah. Very good. Before sometime, Steve, you and I'll have to meet in the middle.
Yep, we gotta go to Jason's.
Absolutely.
So,
Just let me know when you're coming.
In August, on August 24th and 25th, is the Central Arkansas Railroad, Model Railroad train show in
Yes,
Conway.
sir.
So I'm going to try hooking up with Jason there. See if Robert wants to join up too.
Yeah.
Hey, I had one other quick thing. I know we're right at an hour right now, but this won't take very long. Based upon my tip of the day and on painting track, a couple of people had asked me a question, wondering what it would be like if the chapstick or Vaseline or whatever would be enough to just rub the rails off. All right, without using the paint scraper and MDF or whatever. And so I painted up a couple more sections of track after treating it with the chapstick. All right, so let's just see. Good question was asked. So I got just a rag, and I'm going to try to wipe it off. And no. I mean, it comes off, but it still leaves the paint on there. Now let's try it down here with just the MDF and see if that works. That works pretty good. You know, you still, I still like the paint scraper. And somebody said, well, the paint scraper is abrasive. No, it's not. Actually, to remove micro scratches in metals, there's a process called burnishing. And what burnishing is metal on metal. All right, and that's exactly what we're doing here. So it's not really creating any micro abrasions.
Right.
So the answer to the question was, at least with chapstick, it did not provide enough of a layer to just be able to wipe it off. All right. So as unscientific as it is, that's just my experience. I can try it again on this other one. Well, here, let's try it with just the MDF on the other one.
When I paint my track, I have
it's not
paint on top of the rails. What I do is I take a small scrap piece of 1x4, and I use the edge and slide along like that putty knife.
Yep.
And that works great.
And JD said the same thing. He still prefers his wood. And yeah, I just have a ton of scrap MDF, and it's great as a track cleaner on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as long as I have it, that's why I use it. I always have. I mean, this goes back forever. Right? When I was a kid, probably something my dad taught me. Who knows? But anyway, that kind of answers the question. I thought it was worth doing a demo since I had more track. I painted some up last night. But I will
Well,
say
now,
the capstick.
Steve, when you do that, do you have to clean off a place to solder your feeders onto?
Yes,
Yeah, because what I plan on doing
and
is
and at
painting
the
the.
and at the rail joiners, you got to do it too. I have in my Dremel kit, I've got some wire brushes.
Mhm.
That's what I use. And actually, underneath where you're soldering, might not even get any paint on it. Mine did, but that's okay. But like if you look right here, you can't really tell, but there's an area there that's not painted, that's clean. But you still, whether it's paint on it or not, you still probably want to, rough it up a little bit so the solder will stick. Because I prefer to solder to the bottom of the rail as opposed to the side. It doesn't show up as much later on, which can be a good thing or a bad thing. If you're looking for where the drops are, you can't find them if you solder them underneath.
Yeah.
So
Well, I solder mine on the side, and I've come up with a little way of bending the end of the wire so I get almost a perfect fit every time, and it's tied up against the rail when I go to solder it, just by putting a little S turn in it and bending it back towards the rail. And then when I pull it down underneath the track, it forces that wire right up against the side of the track.
yep. So anyway, just another little unscientific demonstration. But I thought it was worth going through because we did had more than one person ask me about that. And I said, well, let's try it out.
Very good.
Anyway, you guys got anything else?
No,
I think
here.
I'm good.
I'm good too. Next week we get to look forward to all the stuff I ordered today, thanks to these two guys.
Well, here, maybe I can get you to order something else.
No.
The Milwaukee pack-out system is so great, let me tell you.
Stop.
Yeah, I've just got my little semi-clear plastic boxes I keep all my stuff in. It's a little cheaper than the Milwaukee pack-out boxes.
Hey, every bit of that I did not buy. It's a collection of Father's Day, Valentine's, birthday, and Christmas gifts over the past couple of years.
Okay, well, I don't get anything. I'm too old. I don't get Christmas gifts.
All right, Lee, we shall see you later. JD, hey, you want to come up to Arkansas in August, meet and greet at the Central Arkansas Club? That would be great. More the merrier. Robert?
Central Arkansas Train Show. I don't know what the club status is going to be at that time. I know we have a meeting a week from Sunday to see if we can't try to find us a home. And then once we find us a home, then we can start looking at what kind of layout we're going to do. But I do know the train show does have, and Robert's been at it a couple years ago when it was the first year in Conway. But it's at the Conway Expo Center, and they have both layouts and they have vendors, selling used, new, you name it.
Right.
Some of the bigger hobby shops around the U.S. and show up, like what is it, Spring Creek out of Deschler, Nebraska. They tend to show up every year. So.
And Grandpa Rail said he can do August.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
And
start planning something.
Robert and I were talking about something, and everybody needs to keep this in the back of their minds. I want to go to Amherst next year. So what conceptually, Robert and I meet up at Jason's, all right, and pick Jason up, and then we drive across I-40 and pick John up, and then we make that shot up 81 towards Massachusetts. You know, and so keep that in the back of your minds, guys. We could do it fairly.
Yeah, that would be
gas,
pretty cheap.
double up on hotels.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad.
And a pack light so we can fill the car up with, and I got a hybrid car, so 38 to 40 miles to a gallon.
Yeah, we're not taking my truck.
No.
Duramax, diesel, no.
My truck gets about 21 miles to the gallon, but it's only a 5-seater.
We'll take the Honda. Just pack light so we got room to bring shit home.
All I need is a few T-shirts and a few pairs of socks and a few underwear. That's it.
Yeah,
and a heavy jacket because it's cold up there that time of year.
I've got a heavy jacket.
I mean, Robert, that would not be a bad idea. I mean, we could do that. But I'm telling you, it's going to kill us on fuel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that the fuel costs would outweigh the hotel bills. So.
Well, if you get a more efficient one, don't get one of the big ones.
Good. So.
Yeah. A camping spot probably costs me about $30-$40 a night. So
divided by 4, but that's not the point. Yeah. Now we have to take your truck.
Yeah.
And now we got to pay that gas. Now is that added gas cost? Is it offset by overnight savings? So
I will tell you this: with my truck, I really don't lose that many MPGs when I have the camper on the back of it. So
you don't get that many MPGs to begin with.
But here's a question: could we?
What do you get? 10 maybe?
I get 12 with the camper and about 16 without.
Okay.
But we could rent a camper closer to Amherst.
Yeah.
That time of year, they probably should be all available because no one else is going out camping in it.
And what's the advantage to that, John?
You still
drive the 12 mile an hour truck. 12 mile per gallon truck up to Amherst.
Yeah, but my truck gets 21 miles to the gallon.
Per mile.
It's not.
Robert,
not 40,
I know my truck is. Robert, my truck might be like a tank, but it is not a tank.
No, I know what tanks are.
Put treads on it.
My tank used to get 6 gallons to the mile, so I understand what
gallons
tank
per
is.
mile. Exactly right,
Yeah.
Robert. No, it ain't going behind my car. Now, I've got an Equinox with a trailer hitch, but it ain't rated to pull that big a trailer. No.
Well, you don't have the right hookup to pull what mine is either, because
Right.
mine's a fifth wheel.
No. Oh yeah. That ain't happening. So, now I can pull a little pop up.
I will tell you this: I did drive it all the way to Chama, New Mexico this past summer.
Yeah. And how much did that cost in gas?
Let's see.
Probably nothing because it doesn't take gas.
Yeah, it takes diesel.
Even diesel. Diesel's more expensive, but you get better.
Yeah, much better. It took me 3 full tanks and a half a tank one way.
Yeah, how big are your tanks?
35 gallons.
At $3.50 minimum a gallon. More as it gets up
was
north.
a whole lot cheaper. At that time, it was like $3.11 in
Yeah.
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Now, once I got
now we're going to the East Coast.
Once we got into New Mexico, that was a little different. It was a little higher.
All right, so 35-gallon tanks, and you had 3.5.
Yeah.
Right?
$150 a tank.
Yep.
That's $122 gallons and 50 cents. All right, one way. So multiply that by 2. That's 245 gallons times $3.50, and we'd be lucky at that. That's $857.50. All right, in gas. Now, divide that by at least a third, probably a fourth, by a fourth in my hybrid, and that's $214.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah. And
You're not gonna
Mystic
save
just
that much
showed up.
in hotel bills. So,
But and Steve 87th, you got a good point. It is cheaper on the East Coast, but that's more the southern states, not like New England. Gas is typically a lot higher in the New England area.
Yeah, because
so
there's more.
it'd actually be, and Steve, would be $300 a night on hotel rooms because you get 2 rooms, double occupancy. So, but then you got to throw in the campground, and anyway.
Campgrounds are a whole lot cheaper than hotels, but
Yes,
you
but
make
it's part
up
of the
for it in the
expense.
fuel.
And at that time of the year, the campground should be empty, so
Or closed.
or closed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, there's John.
Well,
Mystic John. How you doing, buddy?
And knowing our luck is you've also got winter weather.
Yeah.
So I really do
Slide.
not want to take my camper up there with winter weather.
Winter weather and mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The mountains don't bother me. It's the winter weather with the mountains.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
'cause, I mean, I took mine up in the Rockies. So
Yeah. In the summer.
in the summer.
Yeah.
But there was still snow, but not on the roads.
Yeah.
Right.
But we'll have
You
to
know, when we
figure
went-
this out. We got time.
Oh, it's
Oh,
no-
absolutely. We got what?
Yeah.
10 months?
Yeah.
But I save the date. Let's just put that down.
All right. So when is that date?
Like the last weekend of January.
Here, I cleaned up and I don't have anything to write on.
Come about August, we'll need to make hotel reservations, at least there in Amherst. We may want to spend one night going and one night coming back as well in a hotel. That's
Missed
whatever
it.
you all want to do.
The thing about the winter weather you're getting is a storm called a nor'easter. And a nor'easter is not that much different than a hurricane that you're used to down in Louisiana. Except for the difference of precipitation.
Yeah.
Steve, I'm not buying a more efficient truck.
Hey, maybe you can get one of those
more
new battery
efficient
ones.
truck would be a weaker truck.
Yep. All right. Well, let's wrap this puppy up, guys. I want to thank everybody for joining us here on Friday Live and Mail Call. We had a great discussion today, I think. Very interesting stuff happening.
Yes, very good.
And I'm hoping to get things wired where eventually we'll see if I get blue smoke when I plug it in. It may or may not be next week. We shall see. But just in case, stay tuned.
Very good.
Hey, Randall, if you're going to stop at Whistle Stop Trains, I'll send me an email with your phone number, and I'll give you mine, and I'll meet you there. Maybe grab some lunch or something. So, anyway, everybody, again, thank you for joining us. You all have a great day. Bye now.
Bye, everyone.
Bye now.